Hey, friends, fans, and artists, welcome back for another bonus drop from Talk 30 to Me. After the original episode, or the main episode, or the full episode, I got to thinking a little more about, and actually a friend of mine had, about a separate project that we were working on, had just mentioned sort of like the growth that they've experienced and how their younger self would kind of be like surprised by the fact that they've actually, materialized things in this way. And I thought that would be interesting. That was not something that I had planned specifically for this episode. But if I were able to write a love letter to my former self. So I took a stab at one. So I'd like to read it to you. And I want to challenge you to write one as well. So in my instance, I am in my 40s now, but I am talking about the previous decade, definitely through, fresh eyes, but just an awareness that had not fully materialized and meshed then. So I kind of wrote that letter with those things in mind. So here's my love letter to my former self. Dear Junior, you didn't know it then, but you were loving on empty, giving 100% to people who were only ever meant to be a pit stop on your journey, trying to prove you were worthy of staying even when they'd already started packing. Let's call it what it was. You were someone's rebound, their in-between, their almost. And you stayed, because even crumbs felt like a feast when you'd never been given the whole loaf. But here's the thing you needed to hear back then. You are not a warm-up for anyone else's healing. You are not the practice run. You are not the one they settle for until they get serious. And you damn sure aren't disposable. You've never really felt love through sex. Not fully, not safely. And that's not your fault. You thought giving your body might win you affection, but now you know how to give love to yourself first. To lay hands on your own chest and say, I choose you. Every day. Just like Cookie Lyon chose herself when Lucius acted brand new. You broke the script, kiddo. The one that said you had to settle. That said love had to be painful to be real. That said generational trauma gets to write your ending. You stopped chasing the version of love that left you lonely. You picked up the pen and said, actually, I'm rewriting this. You started naming the things in your bloodline that tried to bind you. The silence, the shame, the survival mode. The staying quiet, the people-pleasing, the fear of being too much. You broke the cycle every time you said, that doesn't work for me. Every time you let something go, even if it hurt. Every time you didn't shrink to make someone else feel comfortable. You still love love, still believe in it, still hope it finds you. And if it doesn't, you'll be all right. Because you're building a life so full, so rich, so rooted, that love will only ever be a bonus, never the lifeline. You're wealthy in self-worth, you're draped in peace, and kiddo, your joy doesn't bounce. So, if no one's told you lately, you didn't lose. You learned. And the lesson was always love, just not the kind you were looking for in them. I know, I'm deep. I hope you all enjoyed that. But now comes the challenge. Whether you are in your 30s and going through any of the challenges we've been talking about in these episodes thus far, or just in general, you have matured honestly, wholly, really, in an actual way, and want to speak this update to your former self. Speak this update to those cells that are no longer a part of your body. You have shed those cells from your skin all the way, to your internal goings-ons. Um, you have shed that version of yourself for a number of different reasons. Quite honestly, not even related to dating or relationships, but just because that's what the body does. It does shed. So I challenge you to write your letter. If you would be interested in sharing that, I would always love to see them and read them. You can, if you are inclined to do so, you can definitely send your letters to your younger self to the show at info@woodsy.llc. That's INFO at WOODSY.LLC. info@woodsy.llc. I'd love to be able to read the things that you've written. If you choose to write something, I'm not much in the way of a poet either, but I did just write down my thoughts and then rearrange things after I had written them. This was a very, I'll say, cathartic exercise. I have seen a number of things where people are writing letters or making videos to their former self, and I've never really jumped on that bandwagon. But this was, I won't say freeing, but it was a really great exercise in freedom to be able to share, even with my own, my own mental and my own psyche, that while I am aware of how things have been for me in the past, one, it doesn't mean that they will always be that way. Two, I am a part of the change. It doesn't happen to me. I make it happen. And three, memory can be comforting in that way. One, as a reminder that you survived something, not just made it through it, but you survived it. It does not hold you down in a way that if you had not truly survived it, it would. But then also conversationally, whether it's for the purpose of this podcast or in conversation with friends or just in life experiences, I have gone through something that, while disappointing, because, maybe it did not work out or it did not, materialize in the way that I had hoped it would, it did still bring me closer to people, because I am still a person who is experiencing some level of pain or discomfort or, lack of awareness or unpreparedness. And I am in a world with, people who are also going through the same thing. So, in no thing am I alone. Definitely have community that's around me. And just as an exercise, as part of this growth. And I don't know how you sort of track your own growth, and provide me just a little bit of leeway in this. I have had a sip. So while I am not emotional, I am trying to not be unbearingly funny, because there is no audience, so it would just be me laughing at shit that I'm saying to myself. But I just want to bring attention to one line in particular, because it hit me like a ton of bricks. And, it's true. And I really do think that it speaks to what I was saying in the episode about, having connections with people that are not founded on sending nudes and all this other stuff. But it was the line that I wrote that was like, you've never really felt love through sex, not fully, not safely, and that's not your fault. That in and of itself could spark an entire conversation. But as this is just bonus content, we're going to keep it nice, short, and sweet. But you have the charge before you, okay? I mean, you clicked to listen to this bonus content, so the least you could do is actually do the activity. I want you to challenge yourself, and I want you to write your own letter or poem or some, communication between your current self and your former self. Just updating them on how things are right now and how things have improved. Because, not to be morbid, but to definitely give you some perspective. And they used to say this in church all the time, and I imagine they still do, but, somebody did not wake up today, right? And some people chose to not be here. They had had enough of whatever this world is, and they chose to not be here. But you are still here. So encourage your younger self, encourage your current self to know that while things have happened to you, while things have definitely been set against you to make you either doubt yourself or to hide from the world and to diminish your light, you have figured out a way to still be here. Even if that's with less people, with more people, with different people, you've figured out a way to still be here. And more importantly, in the absence of others' love for you, you have definitely dug deep and loved yourself. I won't even say more, but definitely in a better way. And I think that's super important. So I'm going to leave you with that. The charge is set before you in this bonus episode. Write a letter to your younger self. If you wish to share it, I would love to be able to see those and read those. They do not have to become public, especially since we've kind of finished with the episode on love. So this is just a conversation between you and I. If you are interested in doing that, you can send those letters after you've written them and feel comfortable with what it is you've written to info@woodsy.llc. That's info at woodsy.llc. And I think that's where I'm going to leave you. This has been bonus content for Talk 30 to Me. I am Mr. Robert, and I hope wherever you are in your story, you're choosing yourself too. All right, we'll talk soon.